I'm going to show you how to make my fast and dirty Bolognese sauce. A traditional Bolognese takes hours to cook. It all cooks very slowly and breaks down and is absolutely delicious. And I'm sure at some point when I have some downtime, I'll show you my traditional recipe for Bolognese. But this is going to be a crazy week at work, and I need something fast and delicious that I can throw together, and this fits the bill. This is kind of like a cross between a Bolognese sauce and a mushroom ragu, but it is delicious. You're going to need 1 onion, 2 celery ribs, 2 carrots, 6 cloves of garlic minced, a package of porcini mushrooms which come dried, and you're going to rehydrate them in about 1.5 cups of hot water. You're going to need 2 pounds of ground sirloin. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of fennel, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of red pepper flakes, and 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 28-ounce cans of whole tomatoes, salt and pepper, half a cup of heavy cream, half a cup of chopped fresh basil, and Parmesan for serving. So let's get started. So I've chopped the onions, celery, and carrots very finely, and I sauteed them with some olive oil until they became golden and really broke down. And then to that I added the 6 cloves of garlic, which I minced, and I just cooked those for about a minute until they were fragrant. So now I'm going to put this back on the heat. And to that, I'm going to add the chopped porcini mushrooms. So I rehydrated them in 1.5 cups of hot water. I took them out, chopped them up, reserved 1 cup of the mushroom liquid, which I strained to make sure there was no sediment. So now I'm just going to add the porcini mushrooms to the vegetable mixture and cook that for about 5 minutes until they begin to break down. Okay, so the mushrooms cooked in the vegetables for about 5 minutes, and now I've added the 2 pounds of ground sirloin, and I'm going to cook that together until the sirloin browns and we get those nice caramelized bits on the bottom of the pan. There's really no set time for that, so just keep your eye on it, stir it around, and when the meat is nicely browned, we'll move on to the next step. The next step I completely forgot to tell you about in the list of ingredients. We are going to, in addition to the spices, we're going to add a bottle of red wine. Any red wine you like to drink or cook with, that's what you can use. So you need to have a bottle of red wine handy. You could also use white wine. It really doesn't matter, but this tastes particularly good with red. So while we're waiting for the meat to brown, I'm going to tell you how we made our spice blend. So this is the 2 tablespoons of fennel, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of red pepper flakes, and 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. And what I did was, in my mini food processor, I grinded all that up until it was sort of a chunky powder. And I actually got this spice mix recipe from Tyler Florence. I use it when I make lasagna, if I want to season meat. And it goes particularly well with this dish, really seasons the meat nicely. So thank you, Tyler Florence, for that. And so what we're going to do is, when the meat has browned, we're going to add this spice mix, cook it until the spices bloom and become fragrant, and then we're going to add the red wine. Okay, our meat has nicely browned, and now I'm going to add the spice mix. Just sprinkle that, and then stir it around, and I'm just going to cook that until I can smell the spices. They've bloomed, they've hit the heat, and are releasing their oils, and that's only going to take about 2 minutes. Okay, my spices have cooked in the meat for about 2 minutes, and now it's time to add the red wine. So again, that's a whole bottle of red wine. And the 1 cup of the reserved mushroom liquid. And I'm just going to stir that, scraping up any caramelized bits on the bottom of the pan. And I'm just going to cook that until the liquid reduces by half. And that will probably take 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so the wine and the mushroom liquid have cooked down in the meat for about 15-20 minutes, and as you can see, it's really reduced. I wouldn't say it's completely gone, but it's definitely down from where it was just 20 minutes ago. So now to that I'm going to add my tomato mixture. And what this is the 2 cans, the 2 28-ounce cans of tomatoes that I've crushed with my hands. 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, and 1 tablespoon of salt, and 3 teaspoons of black pepper. And I'm just going to add that to this mixture. And now I'm just going to stir that together. And I will let this cook now for about 20 minutes until all those flavors meld together and the liquid has reduced a bit. So we will check that in 20 minutes, and then when that's finished, we'll just do the last step, which is to add a half a cup of chopped basil and half a cup of heavy cream. And to the heavy cream, I've added half a teaspoon of grated nutmeg. Once again, I forgot that in the earlier list of ingredients. So if you get to this stage and you have eggnog, because nutmeg. If you get to this stage and you don't have nutmeg, you can leave it out. It'll taste perfectly good. If you have the nutmeg, put it in. Totally up to you. So we'll check on the sauce in 20 minutes, and then we will finish it up with the basil and the cream. Okay, the sauce has been cooking now for about 20 minutes, and as you can see, it's nice and thick. And before I add the cream and the basil to finish it off, I'm just going to give it a little taste for seasoning. It's very good. So now I'm just going to add half a cup of basil, and half a cup of cream with the half a cup. Now I'm going to add half a cup of cream, heavy cream, with half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Stir that around. And now I'm just going to let that simmer for about another 15 minutes, just to let all those flavors combine. And then I'll just make some pasta, and we'll eat. So our sauce is finished, and I just cooked some rigatoni according to the package directions. And when the pasta was cooked, I added some of the sauce, topped it with some Parmesan cheese, and there you have it. Just a fast and dirty Bolognese sauce for a busy weeknight meal. And I'm just going to give it a quick try. Delicious. Spicy, but it's creamy. It's got a lot of really some earthy umami taste from the mushrooms. It's delicious. Hope you'll give it a try. Till next time, thanks for watching.